Hey guys, welcome to Underscore Your World, where we talk to random people about random things. I'm Eric.
I'm Brandon. We're still in Flagstaff, guys. Still on the same journey hike that we're trying to climb to this mountain. Hopefully, I'm trying to come across a cave. Maybe I don't know if it's gonna be possible, but we're gonna see a little bit. But it's pretty cool climbing these mountains and rocks, I guess.
Yeah, it's not dangerous at all. So this episode would be our 100 subscriber special. Finally,
Woo!
thank you guys for subscribing and helping us to get to 100. Our next step, hopefully 1,000. That's when we can actually start monetizing the channel and making this more of a full-time thing.
In this episode, you're gonna see, some interesting spiritual kind of talking. Just kind of little chit chat about how we got to this point to where we're at now, and just kind of our long journey and a little bit of questions and answers that we gave about us. That maybe you guys have been questioning this entire time about us and been like, oh, finally got it answered. Who knows? But hey, we answered some of it of who we are, I guess.
Right. So as mentioned in our previous episode, Chris Armstrong, our guest from our previous episode, the 100th person that we've interviewed, actually invited us over to his house and interviewed us using his podcast equipment. Do check out his podcast. It's Becoming Crystalline. But yeah, so he had free reign, whatever he wanted to ask us, whatever he wanted to talk about. So I guess let's get into it.
All right, hello and welcome to, this is a combo episode here of Underscore Your World. I've got Eric and Brandon here next to me. My name is Chris Armstrong, and I'm the host of Becoming Crystalline, which is a podcast that helps you in your process, our process of awakening to our highest potential as we create this new earth together. And I had the fortune of meeting these two gentlemen the other day in the park. I was getting super high on some breathing exercises. They approached me with a fuzzy microphone and a camera, and they decided that they wanted to see what was going on. So, gentlemen, welcome. Thank you so much for inviting me to help turn the microphone on you, since you have just recently been celebrating, was it 100 episodes?
100 subscribers.
100
Well,
subscribers.
Yeah.
Excellent. So 100 subscribers to the channel. So we're going to do a little bit of an interview to get to know a little bit about you, since last time you were interviewing me. So first and foremost, why don't one by one you each introduce yourself and then tell me a little bit about what Underscore Your World is all about.
Well, I'm Brandon. Yeah. Our channel is basically, about traveling and sightseeing all these great opportunities, and also to talk and get to know one another in this world that we are in. Just random things, and then we get their point of views on everything. So yeah.
Is there like a type of person that you're looking for, or you're literally just walking around and just putting mics in front of people's faces?
It's more like not really like a spiritual aspect to it, but it's they're there for a reason. We know that we feel their energy, we feel some type of an appearance. We just kind of go up to people and we feel that kind of energy, and we just kind of ask them, hey, you want to help? You want to talk? You want to help with these, questions that we just, want to figure out with these answers to, with statistics of other people.
All right. So you guys are just really just on a divine mission to just get to know other humans, and you just let it flow.
Pretty much.
And so your name is
Brandon.
And you are?
Right. And so I'm Eric. To address the couple of questions that you asked, kind of the point of our channel is to have a channel that is not our channel. It's not about us. It's not about our travels. It's not about our views of the world. It's not about anything like that. It's about the people that we come across. So it's to give everyone out there a chance to have their moment, to put their opinions, their views, and everything that they want out into the world.
Beautiful. I mean, the funny thing is, what did Andy Warhol say? everybody gets their 15 minutes of fame or whatever it is.
Right.
Right.
And which is even more true now that everybody has a phone with, a lot of people have social media. How many people have a YouTube channel? I have one, you have one. I don't know how do you meet a lot of people that actually have an active YouTube channel that you interview?
Came across maybe a couple, but nothing like too big. Nothing like,
Yeah, just casual. There was Princess Whiny Butt and Mew
Yeah.
Cakes. Yeah.
Some good names.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, all right. So, where are you guys from? How did you meet? And where did this idea come from?
Okay, so I'm originally from Texas, born and raised in the Dallas area. Moved to Indiana, it was about 5 years ago now, just to be in a different place. I'd been in Texas all my life. And yeah.
So me being an Indiana boy, raised my entire life in Indiana, you kind of like over time, you have a relationship that just kind of crumbles, that you don't know why, how, young, dumb, stupid, maybe, who knows. But we all go through that stage of a broken relationship to the point to where we get back together until eventually you just crumble. And that's where I was at in the state of my time, my life. I was just homeless. I just felt worthless for myself, felt like I was nothing. I just wanted to get away from very toxic people and do something better with my life. I know that I have the potential, and that's what I wanted to do. And
I wanted a soda. So I was walking up to the store to get a soda, and he happened to be sitting there on the sidewalk. And I was like, hey, you doing okay? What's going on? And we spent the next 48 hours straight just hanging out on the sidewalk talking.
Yep.
And, we decided, like he said, he was born and raised in Greenwood, Indiana, never got to see the world or do anything. Neither one of us really had anyone or anything tying us down or holding us back. And so we were like, hey, let's travel. Let's meet people and see things and just have fun.
Which is it's really interesting because so many people would feel like that is what's like those things that they're attached to or the things that are missing in their life, right? That, I don't have a job, I don't have a partner, I don't know, whatever it is, but it's all about perspective, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So for you guys, it was, we don't have this, so we can go, so we can be free. And I admit that that's happened a few times in my life as well. How'd this little scheme come together? Did it start out as we want to create a YouTube channel? Did it start out as we just want to get the F out of Indiana and and try something different?
Basically get out of Indiana. Previously I wanted to travel. I've owned minivans and stuff like that I've tried to build up to be live that nomadic lifestyle. So at the same point, I felt like that I can do it again, but do it this time right. And so I kind of talked to him a little bit, and he had a little bit of ideas, discoveries, and then he kind of put it all together and kind of ran it by me, and we kind of collabed together on the whole channel idea, and we went with it. It was really, really cool, especially when you look it up on YouTube. There's nothing recent about interviews, let alone, that's nothing about bombarding people. It's actually truthfully about the people's views and about the people themselves, not about just one-sided arguments, opinions. It's about truthfully who these people are.
Well, and it's also not a late night talk show host going around trying to make people look stupid.
Right. And that's the thing, is that pretty much every street interview channel that you see, it's either outside of a bar asking people questions that that they can't answer because they're drunk, just to make them look stupid, or it's asking questions, that are meant to get shock, I guess. Asking women, are you more attracted to guys with, accents? Things that are sex related, basically.
Right.
And so we wanted to do something that was, like he was saying, more about telling people stories and giving them a chance to represent themselves the way that they want to be represented, not drunken, stupid, that you see on most interview channels.
Yeah, we live in a world with what 7 point something billion people, right? And we constantly hear about the same 1%. You know, it's the same elite, the same big money, big business, politicians, celebrities, whatever. And it seems like it's you know, there's it's like a specific group that if you don't belong to, then you don't get any time to tell your story.
Right.
And so this is a really interesting and a beautiful, I guess, endeavor to see what's actually going on out there. So in this, you guys basically just cruise around the country. How long have you been doing this?
For what, about a year and a half now?
Yeah, so we started around February of last year.
Okay.
So.
And you guys fund this all yourself?
Yes.
Yep. That's why it's kind of a struggle at the moment. Like, so the plan was initially he wanted to travel, and you know I'm more of the practical. You know, like if we're gonna be traveling, we need to be doing something ideally that can eventually fund our travels, and that's where the channel came from. And so yeah, right now, you know, everything's self-funded and everything. That's why it's, you know, one episode every month or so, because you know we've got to also work and do other jobs and, you know, things like that to get by.
Especially I like picked up the jack of all trades kind of thing, you know, since you got to have all the knowledge, you got to apply it somewhere to get you somewhere in life. So you just keep pushing.
You know, it's interesting that, so I have always been kind of a jack of all trades myself. And I there was a period of time where I felt like that was, you know, it's kind of like in our culture, our society, they say jack of all trades, master of none.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And so there's this implied idea that like that's a bad thing. Except if you actually extend the quote out a little bit, I don't remember the exact wording, but it's jack of all trades, a master of none. And it's something like it's better to be a master of all or a jack of all trades, because a master of one, how are they gonna, you know, fix their house, grow a garden, you know, film, record, audio, edit, you know, all these things. Is like we get down on the people for being a jack of all trades because you're not focused, and you know, where's your career, where's your dedications? Like,
Yep.
I could do a little bit of everything, and that, you know, maybe it shows up in picking up odd jobs and stuff like that. I mean, what is that kind of what you guys do? You just cruise around and
Yep.
pick up odd jobs?
I mean, you find so many different connects and people that you know that you know you've never met before, but hey, you're able to pick up this whole job, and it's like turns them from what 1, 2, 3 day job to like a whole week worth, if not almost a whole month. You know, to what, doing landscaping, to doing Christmas trees, to doing moving just recently. It was an aquarium cleaning for 4 aquariums, you know, like the size of me, just, you know, good big old, it's like decent size, but you know, just 4 aquarium cleaning. They ended up cleaning up the entire guy's house, moving, throwing out everything into a whole dumpster, to loading up 2 semis full of just his entire house. Like, it just turns from one little gig to a whole big, you know, here you guys go, you know, I help you guys out and you help me out, you know, it kind of goes both ways. It's pretty cool.
And it's kind of funny. I just feel the irony of 2 guys who probably don't own a whole lot of stuff helping a person who owns way too much stuff.
Right.
Because, you know, the things that we own end up owning us, right? You know, you got to do something with it. I've definitely met, you know, people whose parents have a house full of all kinds of junk, and they're like, when my parents pass, because it's going to happen, we all die, right?
Yep.
It's like, oh, that's going to be a full-time job to...
Yep.
So maybe they just need a couple of guys to roll up in a van with a YouTube channel, a couple bucks, and get some help out, right?
Right.
So what was so you guys, you roll around, you interview people. Let's go. What's been the most interesting place first that you've been to?
Interesting place? I don't know that we've been anywhere interesting. There have been good places and bad places. So I found that I personally like the large small towns, kind of like Flagstaff here. Ones that like have the small town vibe but are large in area.
Yeah, I mean, Flagstaff, Arizona, where we're at. I mean, I went to school here there 20 years ago. There's a university. like, I don't know, under 100,000, but still a decent sized town.
Mm.
It's got something going on, but they still roll up the sidewalks at usually around 8 unless you're drinking.
So yeah, like Flagstaff, Klamath Falls was really good in Oregon.
Yes, Oregon was good.
Boulder City, Nevada was a good one.
Yep.
But I think Fresno, California was probably my least favorite place. That was a place we like drove past the like city line and immediately just like clouds of depression just
Right.
overwhelmed like it was miserable. We were there for like 2 days and the whole time it was just the most miserable, and not because anything happened. It was just the general atmosphere of the city was just
The energy you felt, it was
awful.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, we are energy sensitive beings, whether people are aware of it or not. And you know, it's like you walk into somebody's house or you walk into somebody's room just after they had an argument with their spouse or something, and it's like, oh, you can feel it. It's heavy. It's uncomfortable. So you said that was like the whole town.
yeah.
All right. So let's continue a little bit about this idea with energy, right? Since that's something that I obviously am very interested in, having gained a lot of sensitivity to energy and continuing to do so and help other people to do the same thing. That seems like what you said earlier. That's an aspect of how you find people. You're kind of, I don't know that you're necessarily going out there with your hands held up and like
Right.
you know, sensing like a magnet or something, but there's something that draws you to certain people, right?
Right. And there's not always like, sometimes we get drawn to certain people or we just, ask a certain person or whatever. There's, been technical difficulties, phone not charged or whatever. But, even like on St. Patty's Day, this woman, I asked her and she was like, Happy St. Patty's Day, straight up in my face, So there's been some rejections, don't get me wrong, but there's been some good people that you just find you just sitting there, you just feel like, they may need some type of person just to come by and say, hey, at least that they're not alone in the world, or maybe brings them up. And there's like, there was one guy that we had, his name's Zach, just got his car towed or something, or impounded, or had something with his truck or something. And just like, we talked to him and he was just so uplifted and so happy. Like, I feel like making people's day is another vibe that I kind of like to see sometimes with some of our people that we talk to.
Yeah, absolutely. I experienced that myself. Like, I went to the park, just a few minutes walk from this house that I just moved into, and like, we're in the house right now, and you guys can attest, I have no furniture. I've been living nomadically for almost 3 years, and somehow I got this message to settle down, at least for now, here in Flagstaff, and I'm like, going from a backpack to a 2-bedroom house is like. And then I gotta buy furniture, and I can feel like this weight, because I have given away and sold most of my things, so I know the weight that our possessions have on us. So then to go into a situation where I was like free, I let go of all these things, similar to what you guys were seeing, is that you can have this perspective of, well, we're free, we aren't tied down to something or some place.
Right.
And then to come place and actually like tie myself down again is a trip. So I went out to the park and I just was feeling a little stressed. My emotions were kind of all over the place. And so that's when I got out and did some exercise, get my bare feet on the ground, started doing some breathing exercises, and then there you guys come along. So, and I will say, with gratitude, you definitely helped uplift my day and helped remind me that there's no such thing as a coincidence. And as long as we follow our inner intuition, as long as we follow our inner guidance and our energy, all kinds of powerful and amazing things can happen, right?
Right.
Yeah. So what is the plan right now? Are you guys focusing on filming? Are you focusing on getting some odd jobs? You need to get some funding going? Like, what's the situation?
Kind of all of the above.
Yeah.
It's been a couple of months since our last video, so that's why we're kind of trying to crack down on that. Because we, like I said, you were our 100th person that we interviewed, and we wanted to do a special episode for that. And then we also just hit 100 subscribers, so we wanted to do a special episode for that. And it's been what, January, February since
2
we
months.
actually like went out and interviewed people, because we've been so focused on and work and stuff. So we figured once we got past those episodes, we can get back into the routine of interviewing like we normally do. But at the same time, we are kind of here in Flagstaff until we can find work and, figure out a finance situation to move on.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's hope that these videos can help make some connections. And do you guys have any type of way that people can support you? Is there like a Venmo account or a PayPal account that they can throw $1 or something like that your way?
So we absolutely do have Patreon, PayPal, pretty much anything. It's all underscore your world, all one word, no spaces, nothing like
no
that.
Underscores.
No underscores, right. That confuses so many people. They think it's literally an underscore.
Your world, yeah. Thanks, Instagram. Cool. Well, I mean, hey, let's put it out there. That's the beautiful thing is that when, especially when in a world where, the primary source of funding for a lot of media is advertising, and advertisers aren't looking to, 100 subscriber channels to get their products promoted, at least generally. But that's where we can source from the community. There's that wider community out there, and it's very similar to an artist sharing their trade, playing their music out on the street, putting the hat on the ground, and it's incredible what, maybe not everybody comes up and kicks some money out, but hey, you never know what's going to happen. So now I wanted to reflect something to you because I feel I also went through a period of time. I actually took a break from my podcast for a couple of months during the winter time, but I believe that if there's one thing that humans what we could benefit most from learning about is how can we actually live more in rhythm with the seasons and the cycles of life, right? So it makes perfect sense to me that you guys took a break, even though it was because you were busy and getting work, but in general to have that winter time where traditionally, like shorter days, we weren't doing a whole lot, right?
Right.
I mean, my father grew up on a ranch, and it was like in the Rockies, and and when it was wintertime, yeah, there's still certain things you got to do, but you worked less. It was cold, and you kind of just did things indoors, or you kept it simple. And so that's something that I think we need to honor. And so I encourage you to not look at it as a negative thing, but just look at it as that you guys are perfectly in alignment with the seasons. I mean, here it is springtime. We just passed the spring equinox, and you guys are out there filming again. So I feel like that's pretty well aligned. So
true.
Something to reflect on. So is the journey going to continue? Are you going to stay in Flagstaff for a bit? It all depends on the jobs, I suppose. But are you just as soon as you get enough money, you're going to fill up your tank with a few gallons of gas and then get out of town, or how's it going to work?
Well, until we figure out the ride situation. Yeah, I mean, pretty much it's just kind of keep traveling, keep sightseeing. Go to the maybe East Coast and see what's over there. The West Coast sucks. Security, all that. People, I don't know. It's terrible. I want to go see what the East Coast has got, Maybe they're better people. Maybe it's something better. Who knows? I don't know. But I've heard it's better in like West Virginia. It's pretty and stuff like that. So
yeah, I mean, I guess calling it East Coast versus West Coast, there's a whole lot of coast, and they're very, very different. I mean, I lived in Seattle, Washington. I lived in Portland, Oregon. I visited a lot of California, and I mean, California feels like it's its own world.
They try.
Yeah. East Coast, I mean, I've had a few experiences. I personally was not an East Coast person because, at least in the cities, they were really uptight and not very pleasant. So, yeah, I'd be curious to see how things unfold for you guys and where things go. Is there one place that you absolutely have on your list that you want to check off?
You got anything?
No, for some reason I want to go to North Carolina, which seems silly because there's nothing there that is related to me or interesting to me. I don't know of any landmarks or places to see, but I want to go to North Carolina.
I've heard really good things. So I mean, I tend to, we're all kind of magnets. We're all electromagnetism is something that's universal in this universe, and the people that I tend to kind of flow around are often people who are in some sort of spiritual awakening process, and North Carolina actually has a lot of those people, and I believe I want to say Asheville, North Carolina. A lot of pretty interesting, magical people, and they say it's just beautiful. It's in the mountains, but it's not far from the coast. So I would love to go to North Carolina sometime. So I would say that sounds pretty good. I've also heard South Carolina is really good, especially the food. But I don't know. I haven't really spent that much time down there. So yeah. So do you believe that this will be you think this is going to be an international project?
I'm hoping so. I mean, I want to go to Germany, 'cause that's like where I'm from, I guess. Kind of like heritage background. So I kind of want to see, what Germany is. Because also of like part of my family kind of goes to Germany, and like I also got like my grandma's holding on some like a Germany toy set type of thing that is going to be like passed down when, I get into the a little bit older of age to where I have like a place to put it. But
Then
yeah.
you can have your toys.
Yes. But no, like it's just a lot of Germany background that I want to undiscover kind of there.
Yeah, cool. I mean, I lived in Germany for about a year, actually, in Berlin. Beautiful country, very interesting, because like I look like I'm German. I mean, I am from German heritage as well, so I fit in pretty easily there. But highly recommend it. There's a lot of beautiful stuff to see out there, so I absolutely hope that you make it out there.
Cool.
What about you? Any place internationally that you'd be interested in going to?
If I had to pick one, probably Australia.
Australia.
Again, there's like, not because I want to see a kangaroo or not because I want to go to Ayers Rock. I just want to go to Australia. I think the people there are kind of goofy, and I think it would be fun.
Totally. I love the people that I've met from Australia. I can't speak for the entire group, but yeah, there's a lightheartedness to
Right.
the attitude that I feel is really appropriate, and that's something I've been learning how to do again, is to not take life so seriously.
Yep.
So I applaud you guys for finding that balance where you can go around and play and also take care of yourselves and make sure you got food and everything. That balance of work and play. But I don't know anybody who in their later years in their life has ever said that they regretted traveling or that they regretted trying something that was weird or different. So I believe that's a beautiful thing. You're not going to be on your deathbed going like, man, why did I travel around and see all those different places?
Right, for real.
Well, is there a message that you would like to share before we kind of wrap things up?
I've always dreaded this moment because I knew that it would come. From the moment that we even conceptualized the channel, I knew that eventually there would be a time where I would be asked that question, because I ask everyone that question.
Right.
I don't have much. Pretty much what a lot of people say. Just love everyone. It's not a what's the word that I'm looking for? It's not this like exclusive currency that you give to one person and that's it. Like, love is something you can give to everyone. It's okay. That's about it, I think.
Okay. Well, I would say, like, be your own person, create your own path, do what you want to do what is in your heart, follow your dreams. Never say, I wouldn't say never say no to things, but when someone offers it, always take that chance. Never doubt it, and just keep going with the flow. Eventually, you're going to find your correct path, and you're going to find what truthfully who you are, and find that inner self. So...
Beautiful. Well, I will underscore the message about love, because that's what everything is, and anything that is not love is just a distortion thereof. So I believe that if we could
That's okay. You can keep going.
So there you have it. Just some information, some insight into who we are and why we do what we do.
So, question of the day, guys. What kind of questions do you have about us?
Yeah, what would you ask if you were interviewing us? What do you want to know? Leave your answers in the comments below, and we'll answer them for you if we get around to it.
So we know that like traveling's a little tough, a little bit hard on a little bit of whatever. It's kind of hard, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, you know, the funding is kind of short, but also we work around it and we find our ways. You know, gigging out and doing odd jobs. But no, we like to help, you know, get some support from you guys through our Patreon.
Yeah, as soon as we can make this a full-time thing, it'll be like uploads weekly. Like, we just have to spend so much time, you know, trying to figure out, you know, money situations that we can't dedicate ourselves fully to the channel yet.
Right.
Which we would like to do.
So help support us, guys. But yeah.
Also, do remember to support Chris over at Becoming Crystalline. Check out his podcast. He's got an Instagram under the same name, Becoming_Crystalline.
Support.
Woo! And until next time.
Till next time.